So guys, that was 900 plus another 750-ish miles. So that's right around, yeah, that's 1,675 miles, almost 1,700 mile road trip right there. So that was quite a bit. But I got back late last night and it was freaking cold out. And quite frankly, I wasn't up to trying to get this car all back together when it was pretty cold out. So it is now Saturday morning. There's some good racing going on today. And we are out here trying to get Straight Gangster back together. I really want to get a shaft mount rocker system for this car. The reason for that is a shaft mount setup will at least tie this one and this one together on the same bolts that go in here. Instead of studs, they're bolts, and then the rockers roll in, tie into those. But some setups that go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of these are tied together, and that makes it extremely strong. These on the intake studs here, the threads are very short. I talked about that in some previous videos. I've also had a couple people ask, is a shaft mount system 100% needed? And it is 100% wanted. It is the 100% the next upgrade Straight Gangster gets. It is the only thing that I'm slightly concerned about with this motor that I put together. We did make 2,000 horsepower with it. We did run it up to 8,200 RPM. This did rip out of the head at like 7,400 RPM, but there was a big RPM spike there at that due to going over that big bump out there when we were racing last week. So a shaft mount system is a very good upgrade. But as far as the goes, we ran nitrous cams and stuff like that at considerably more lift, overall lift, than the turbo cam is in this deal here. But with a nitrous profile that is a lot more aggressive on a shaft mount rocker system with something like a stud girdle like that. Stud girdle that ties all those rockers together and stabilizes them. So is it needed? Not necessarily. Is it wanted? Yes. Is it the next upgrade? 100%. So guys, I'm going to get to cleaning these heads because sometimes I'm the engine builder, sometimes I'm the tuner, sometimes I'm the driver, the financial guy. Today, I'm the gasket scraper guy. So we're going to get after it, clean these up, and get them ready to go slap onto the straight. So we're going to be reusing these head gaskets here. We're going to start off, we're just going to use a little razor blade, scrape off the excess copper coat here on the water ports and stuff like that. And then we're going to go through, use a little bit of brake clean and a good SOS pad. I'm going to prep these things up so that we can put another coat of copper coat on them. Make sure there's no oil on them so they seal real good, and be back in business. So guys, that is the first step. We scrubbed them down here with the SOS pad with a little bit of brake clean. Now we'll flip it over and do the other side. And then after we do that, we'll go through, spray it again, wipe them. Well guys, we got it all cleaned up. Just using some copper spray, copper coat there. Got it all cleaned up. Do a light coat first, then a little bit of a thicker coat. Then we're gonna let this tack up for a little while, a couple minutes, and then we're gonna go slam it on and get at least the driver's side head on. Guys, these also say, you can't really see it right now, but right there will say head side. That means that side has to go up. Of course, this is the driver's side, and the O-ring is in the head, so the O-ring can be on the top side, but head side is always the head side. There is a reason for that. Well, guys, we got the heads on. Got the inner studs in there all tightened down. Now it's time to get the rocker girdles back on this deal. And then we toss the intake on it. So, no time like the present. Well, guys, it is Wednesday afternoon. Texas, if we make the trip. We already canceled the flight from Eddie and MVP this morning because things just weren't looking good. But that is... testing Thursday night is still over 24 hours away, and it is a 12-hour trip, so there is still a small possibility. We bought a lot of merchandise for Oklahoma and Texas since we haven't been out in that region for a while, and yeah, that would really sting if we missed both those. So we made the trip over here to B&B Performance Racing Engines, and supposedly he has the parts for us, and he's willing to sell them to us. So hopefully we can get the lash caps that sit on top of the valve here and raise the valve up a little bit, and that'll give us the clearance that we need to get everything right. Well, guys, it is 5 a.m. I am closing up. It's time for me to hit the hay. I got the door welded up. Straight Gangster is back in front side mode. Hopefully we make it to Texas. If we don't make it to Texas, Ohio is a possibility. There's a race in Kentucky that's a possibility. But small tire gangsters is A, a bucket list item for me, and B, I think straight gangsters are a pretty dang good car. As long as it's healthy. And I'm pretty sure it's healthy. Everything freaking looks good on it. I went over everything again. And then we just had a little issue there with the freaking rocker started pulling out. But besides that, I think we got a good car. So I really, really want to make it out there. I might make one last little shock height change before we head out there, but not 100% convinced. I might. We'll see. But I think we got a good car. I want to run it. I guess we'll see what happens here shortly. Well, guys, we got the front runners mounted, and what goes on as we're going through this whole process, the battery charger arcs out internally. Luckily, we found a filament in there, and yeah, we were able to save this charger. Well, guys, 2:30 a.m. update. This guy right here, Money just fixed the charger. Guys, I've been struggling. But the battery charger wouldn't charge, and it shorted out internally. But he found the little piece after testing a whole bunch of different things. He found a little piece of
like a filament.
Like a filament, almost like a piece of wire from the from like I don't know, some electrical work or something like that. Slipped in there and got it down. But right now it's working again, so we're gonna hook up the charger and maybe Strike Gangster will start up. Well, guys, I don't know exactly how to start here, but yeah. So everything's loaded. The Strike Gangster is back together, guys. I didn't do the best job at filming it all because I was trying to get everything done in time to be able to head out. Well, we had a couple of issues. That took a little bit while. I worked until about 5 o'clock this morning. This was, I was planning on leaving Tuesday night. This is Wednesday morning. I worked until about 5 o'clock in the morning. Didn't have the parts. I thought I had some parts in the trailer. I looked around and I couldn't find them. I couldn't source the parts until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Got the car together at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Well, unfortunately, we had to cancel the flights for MVP and Lady Gangster to come into the, to fly in at like 9 o'clock this morning in order to be able to still get our refund. So, yeah. Long story short, about 4 o'clock this afternoon, 5 o'clock this afternoon, I got Street Gangster fixed, running, everything going good, right? Well, you still have to finish organizing the trailer if we can get all that stuff done. It's a lot for one person, right? Get it all done, and I feel like we got a pretty good car. Texas was the goal, but buy plane tickets to replace the plane ticket that we refunded this morning was going to be $600. That's a lot of freaking money. We got that plane ticket for like $200 originally, right? So it was not going to be an extra $400 in that. Fuel cost to head out there, this is just numbers, guys. Fuel cost to head out there and back was going to be over $1,200. So we're $1,800 into the trip just to get there and back, right? Then everything else that goes into the factor, right? And me and Maddie made the decision. I was like, hey, I really want to go. You guys can't make the trip because some other things came up. Can't talk about those right now. Just some personal things came up. Not between me and her, but just other stuff. And, yeah. We decided that, hey, if they're willing to pay back 4 spots, we'll make the trip. But I can't justify the cost to head out there. Literally, $1,800, $2,000 plus buy-ins. Well, me, myself, it would have been about $1,500 plus buy-ins. Be about a $2,500 trip to head out there. Just me, myself, and I. With no crew. At a track we've never been to. Racing on a surface that you really got to have your crap together, right? And I feel like the car's together, but lining the car up and everything else like that is pretty important. And I really wanted to have Maddie there to do that since we've been doing this so long together. So I was like, okay, if they're willing to pay back 4 spots, I'll go take my chance. I'll find someone that I trust to line the car up and stuff like that. Someone that, will fill in for you to line up the car. I could probably run the operation by myself. I could probably make that 850, 900 mile trip there in time by 7 o'clock Central Time to be able to go testing Thursday night, make sure everything's good, and like make sure we got a pretty good tune up for going into the race Friday and then the other race on Saturday. But yeah, I just can't justify 26 hours of driving and like $1,400 in fuel to head out there knowing we have to win the deal. And guys, that's just hard. And initially we were planning on going, guys. The ticket was bought, everything was like we were in, right? I drove 1,700 miles last week to be able to get all the parts to fix the car to head out there. But we were initially going to make it a little bit of a vacation. Maddie and MVP were flying in. We were going to spend some time down in Texas and between Texas and Kentucky next weekend and enjoy the trip and do it in a nice slow deal. Well, guys, I can't spend. I got a 16-month old daughter, right? We don't make a lot of money, and this isn't like that way or nothing like that. But like, I can't go out there and spend that much money when we can afford to use that same amount of money and run 3 or 4 different events for the same cost that would go there. And guys, I really like racing with Maddie, and I like racing with my daughter there. Guys, like that's kind of changes things a little bit. It's fun when you make it a family atmosphere and they get to enjoy it, guys. And honestly, if we went out there and we pulled this off and like we did well and like let's say we get lucky a couple rounds and win the deal, guys, it would feel so incomplete winning a race of that magnitude without MVP in the winner's circle pictures. Like it just wouldn't be there, right? Like I don't know, maybe that's dad coming out, but it just wouldn't be nearly as satisfying. The personal gratification would still be there for the win and stuff like that, but something in that deal, there would be a pretty big empty spot in that picture, and I just can't justify spending all that money when there's a possibility that MVP and Maddie could come out to 3 or 4 different races for the same amount of money that we could head out there for. Guys, Yellow Belly is a bucket list item. I wanted to go out there, but at this point in life, I can't spend the $2,000 just to go on that personal satisfaction or that personal deal out there, personal goals, personal endeavors, and you got that stuff to take care of. So, guys, we're gonna race somewhere local. Hopefully, Stray Kingster can get down and boogie. Guys, I feel like we got a pretty good car. It's not the fastest car, like I said, but for what we have, I think it's gonna do pretty well. So, we'll see what all happens here. Hopefully, the car is healthy, and that's another thing, guys. It was raining. You couldn't make a test. I couldn't find a place to test between here and Texas. So, it is what it is. I can't drive that freaking. I can't make that trip. So, it is what it is. Hopefully, they have another one maybe in the fall, and we'll make sure we make it out there for that one. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I know that's a bummer for like all the hard work that went in here. Trust me, no one wanted to be out there more. Literally 1,700 hours of driving. 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, like the last freaking 3 nights, making sure everything was dotted, right? Like, I even cleaned the grill and freaking cleaned out the toter home and stuff like that. So Maddie and them had a nice clean area for them to be in for the few days that they were going to be there. So, guys, yeah, it is what it is. It sucks. It's a bummer. Sometimes I wish I was born rich instead of good looking, but hey, I got neither. So I guess you just got to work harder, right? See you guys soon. Appreciate it. We'll be racing somewhere this weekend.